Hello, everybody. I am Jarrett Ross, the Genie Vlogger, and welcome to another live stream. Today, we are talking about the world's largest genealogy conference, RootsTech. So, see a whole bunch of familiar faces and usernames in the chat. Glitchy as always on the screen. I really do wish they gave me a better. Bigger screen when I saw my preview, but I don't even know if that's better. I'll try to make it better, but hopefully everyone's doing okay today. For those who don't know about RootsTech, the world's largest genealogy conference, it's held in Salt Lake City every year, usually end of February, beginning of March. This year it's in March mostly, but it's pretty amazing, especially for genealogists. I like to compare it to being kind of like the Comic-Con of genealogy. Not quite as big as Comic-Con. Maybe if you include all of RootsTech stuff, because they do both online and in person for that. But we'll get into that in a bit. First 10 minutes, always lots of people shuffling into the stream. So we'll start out with going through some hellos in the chat. And Bramba, I'm excited by the new Genie feature. You can add custom fields. Yeah, the new Genie feature allows you to add custom fields. And along with that, those custom fields, you can customize how they show up on that person's username. So it makes it really good in terms of the search function, because it's kind of separating the values, I guess, in a more succinct way. But it's a great way to also kind of fight, the issue I have with like Ancestry, where there's just not a lot of name fields and people put so much stuff into those. So this will allow a lot more. But hello, thanks for joining. Glad you're able to make it. Or I guess I just see this. I can't make it, but still want to say hi from the Netherlands. Well, hello if you're still here. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. But yeah, I guess. Oh, yeah, this was over 30 minutes ago. So yeah. Tasha Carl, hello from Windy, Minnesota. Hello, Tasha. Good to have you. Hello, Mom. Sandy Ross from the US of A. Good to have you, Mom. Anna Tomaso, hello from Western New York. See you in Salt Lake. Awesome. I will see you there. Doing genealogy nearby, and thought I would kill two birds with one stone. First time in person, but I remember hearing about it back in 2011. It is quite an experience for a genealogy enthusiast. For one, you get to meet and see all of the, big names that you hear about in the genealogy field. For the most part, not everybody attends RootsTech. Like, it's been years since Cece Moore has attended RootsTech, and she's a huge name in the field, obviously. But you do get a ton of people. So, I'm a name in the genealogy field, and I'll be there. A bunch of other genealogy YouTubers are going to be there. Connie Knox, Amy Cross, Amy Johnson Crow. I think Lisa Louise Cook might be there. Krista Cowan will be there. Yeah, lots of people. But yeah, awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing you. You'll have to come and grab me once you see me and be like, hey, it's me, Anna. Julia Joyce, hello, everyone. Hello, Julia. Thank you for joining. Gazillion PT, hello from Portugal. And I'm planning my first genealogical paper to be submitted to a journal. That is awesome to hear. Good luck with that. I don't think I've ever done that. I know that there's been like a few things published where my name was like in the list for something. I think I can't remember what it was. I need to look into that and see if that's right, or if I could be wrong about that. But that is something that I kind of have always wanted, to do. But it's a lot of work, and doing all the genealogy stuff I'm doing. And other things I'm trying to get done in the background. So yeah, but very, very cool. Congratulations. You'll have to let us know once that is published, if it's published. Carmagal, hi from Nebraska. Accidentally hit send before I was done typing. Oops, yes. Your first message. And then we have Nick Brokema. Goedenavond vanuit Groningen. Goedenavond, hoe gaat het? Ik hoop dat alles goed is. Alles goed is. Yeah. Alles goed met jou. Yeah. Is that more leckerer? Meer lekker? I don't know if I said that right. I don't know. I'm working on it. Deborah Hartwell, hi from Panama. Hello, Deborah. Thank you for joining us and coming from Panama. Very cool. Patrick Jones, greetings. Looking forward to RootsTech and your talk on Friday. Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you all there. Yeah, Friday, I guess I'll talk about this in a bit more when we get onto the website, but I'll be talking at RootsTech a week from today. So no live stream next week, but I'll be talking at 3:00 Mountain Time, which is, I think, 6:00 my time, Eastern. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, thank you for joining today, Patrick, and I'll see you at RootsTech. David Vargas, hello from Arizona. Hello, David. Thank you for joining us. And then we have Rob. Evening. Goedenavond, Rob. Hope you're doing well. Jack the Mastiff, afternoon. Glad you're back. Well, thank you, Jack. Glad you're here. Eric Sheridan, hello from Kansas City, Missouri. Hello, Eric. Thank you for joining us. Drea O, hi all. Wishing I could make it to RootsTech this year, maybe next time. Yeah, it can be difficult to make it, with Salt Lake City being in the center of the country, even for people within the U.S., and especially a lot of the people on the East Coast. It's a 3-4 hour flight. And flying isn't exactly the cheapest thing these days, plus the hotels and all of that. But there are a lot of options around there to get to the conference and whatnot. But it can be costly. Even just the cost of the ticket or the RootsTech pass. Jen W, hi from Melbourne, Australia on Saturday, March 1st. Well, hello, Jen. I guess you're talking to us in the past and we're talking to you into the future. Charlie, hello, Charlie. Evening. One of our wonderful mod admins. Always a great time when I see Charlie in the chat to say, come join our Discord, where we've got a pretty lively group of people chatting all the time about genealogy, helping each other out. And yeah, it's a pretty cool spot over there. Carmagal, I usually use that same description when I tell people about RootsTech that have never heard of it. Yeah, I have found that it's really useful to say that, especially when talking to people who have been to other genealogy conferences. Because other genealogy conferences are, they kind of are like a taste of what RootsTech has. Like the classes and lectures and all of that are going to be kind of similar. Obviously, there'll be a variation depending on what the focus of each conference is, but it's basically the same there. But where it really is different is, one, the size of it, two, the extra things that they have outside of that, the classes and lectures. So the biggest thing being like the expo hall, the exhibit hall. And then on top of that, they have a ton of money backing up the conference, where I'm sure they're trying to get a lot of their money back, but I don't know if the conference is like something where they actually lose money at, because it's run by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I don't know if I'm saying that right. The Mormon Church, basically. And so they just, they have put a lot of money into it. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's quite an amazing thing to attend if you're into genealogy, or even just kind of history in general, maybe. But yeah, I guess most especially genealogy. Retro Rob Casa, good morning all. Good morning, Retro Rob. Thank you for joining as usual. Flutter Me Ruby. Hi, sorry. Hello from Bloomington, Illinois. Happy to be here. Well, happy to have you here. Sorry, I had a little tongue twister with your name and then going to the hello. But very cool to have you. Stella, hello from SoCal. Hello, Stella. Thank you for joining. Carmagal, hoping that next year will be in person for me. Well, hopefully I'll get to meet you in person finally. That'll be awesome. Anna, not my first conference. This will be number 6. Oh, this will be your 6th RootsTech or your 6th genealogy conference, or the 6th time that you. Because I know there's been a lot of online virtuals, and yeah, clear. Let me know. It says yeah. Mom Pafelski, howdy from Southwest Idaho. Can't wait to see what goodies they have for you. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm trying to figure out what type of content I want to do at the conference. Don't know if I'm going to do a walk through the exhibit hall like I did last year. That was kind of cool, but it was also, it is a lot. It was a lot. And especially with my equipment not working and all of that, that was annoying. But yeah, maybe we'll talk more about that in a bit. But yeah, there should be, I'm hoping for a lot of big announcements. And for those who've even been wondering like about that whole, which DNA test is best for 2025 video, I'm actually purposely putting that off until after RootsTech because I want to see all of the updates at RootsTech, because RootsTech is it's the place where a lot of companies will announce their biggest features and their newest features and all of that. So and usually it's even more exciting. Like if you see them releasing stuff, in the January or February, it's usually a good sign that they're going to have some really good stuff announced at RootsTech, because I found a lot of times companies are trying to get that other stuff out so that they can announce the big thing at RootsTech. Not always, but a lot of times, yeah. Catherine, hello, cousin. Good to see you. UK checking in, just waiting to hear if my session has been accepted for August. Oh, yeah. So the IAJGS, Jewish Genealogy Conference in Fort Wayne, that's going to be coming up in August of 2025 this year. So yeah, they have the call for proposals open right now. I can't remember if they closed or not. Maybe. I'm on the board of the IHAGS. I should probably know these things. Daniel M, evening from Bristol, UK. Well, evening, Daniel. Thank you for joining. James Burton, hi from London again. Yes, again, many, many times. It's always good to have you, James. You've become one of the regulars, the genie heads, I guess. Colin Pristansky, hello from Canada. Hello, Colin. Thank you for joining. And then here's a link to the Discord server for anyone who wants that. I guess, yeah, I see we have a couple of people in Twitch, so I think that's only in YouTube, but you can see it on screen if you're on Twitch. And Charlie, if you want to hop over to Twitch and put it there too, I won't stop you. You don't have to, but Sebastian Rocco, hola from Cordoba in Argentina, waiting anxiously for the discount rates for Big Y and Mito DNA and other sites. Very cool. Yeah, I think you might get that very soon, either through the RootsTech specials. So honestly, in a few days, you might see that. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there's an announcement this weekend. But then again, they may not always discount everything. But yeah, hopefully that, or at the very least, with March and April coming up, lots of, holidays. So a lot of possibilities there with the different companies. Matt Zager, I hope to make it to RootsTech at some point. I definitely saw the appeal of going in person to a genealogy conference when I went to IJGS this past year. It was great meeting you there, by the way. Yeah, Matt, it was great to meet you there as well. Yeah, you were one of many young folks at the genealogy conference who were telling me that, you got inspired from my channel, which was so cool. So awesome to see you here. Maybe, yeah, we'll see you at RootsTech eventually. With the experience at IAJGS, I can tell you the RootsTech conference is like tenfold. That's why it's like the Comic-Con of genealogy conferences, I like to say, because it really is like a whole nother level. Any idea what the Ancestry 1890 project is? I actually don't know, but I feel like I heard about this. Let me do a quick Google. Oh, the 1890 census substitute searchable database that includes fragments of the 1890 census as well as other records. So I guess records maybe that could be considered a substitute of the 1890 census. So I'll have to look more into that. I haven't really looked into it, but interesting to see. Sebig, hello from Norway. Hello. Good to have you as always. One of our Scandinavian representation. I think one of the first so far today. Anna, been to FGS, NGS, Ontario Ancestors, and 2 in my hometown. But this will be your first RootsTech though. So I think that being your first RootsTech, that may, it's going to be a lot more fun, I think. I mean, personally, that's how I always feel is when it comes to RootsTech, it's a lot more fun overall. I think part of that also has to do with the fact that like they're kind of I guess all the conferences have a bit of this, but there's a lot more social stuff that's going on. Or rather, Ancestry Club 1890. It sounds like a dance hall or something where Club 1890. Created for our most passionate members, Club 1890 will give you access to personalized coaching, research sessions, VIP services, and premium perks only available to you. So let's see. Features, expert coaching, monthly one-on-one sessions with a genealogy expert tailored to deepen your research and help you overcome challenges. Advanced learning, access weekly group coaching sessions and events along with personalized assistance designed to inspire and empower your exploration. VIP services, get early access to historical records, reserved seating at events, and other exclusive VIP benefits. And then the premium perks, save on professional research, heritage travel, and custom mementos. Membership includes an annual all-access family plan, Pro Tools, 4 DNA kits a year, and a $100 swag store gift card. Interesting. How much is that? I mean, that is a lot, you know? That's a lot. So I guess every year, $100 swag store gift card, 4 DNA kits, which, you know, even on sale, they're at least $50. So that's about $200 worth there. The family plan and Pro Tools, that's what, like almost $400, if not more. So what, 400 to so 700-ish. And then all the other stuff. I wonder how much that is. Interesting. Yeah, I can't find it. I don't know. Well, our focus is RootsTech, so we'll dive into that another time. I'll look into that. Irene made it. Yes, you did. Thank you for joining, Irene. Good to see you. Sean, hello from Ireland. Hello, Sean. Thank you for joining. James Burton, LOL. You accidentally skipped past my first hello near the top of the chat, hence the again. Oh, I did. Oh, I don't see it. That's so weird. I wonder if it's hiding it. Interesting. That's so weird because like it's not there. At least on StreamYard, that is. Let me see if it's on. Yeah, it's on. Oh, weird. Let's see. Oh, and it didn't have Julia's either. Interesting. Or maybe it had it. Yeah, I think StreamYard's having a little bit of a conniption or something. I don't know. All right, let's jump through the hello from Chicago. Planning on going to RootsTech in person. Very cool. Sedater. Are you like an anesthesiologist? That's kind of a funny username if that's it. Sedater. Okay. If not, it's kind of a weird one. Oh wait, is that? Yeah, you can kind of see my couch back there, huh? And one of my dogs. Look at that. Look, there's Peter. Don't mind the dogs behind the curtain. Eric, there's a wait list to join the Ancestry Club 1890. I got an invite from Ancestry for it. Interesting. I guess I'll have to look in my emails. And then I'm also going to be seeing Krista Cowan this week, so I might have to just ask her. Am I late, Jose Lopez 94? No, you're not. Right on time. Or I guess maybe a little late. 424. It always takes so long to go through the hellos, but I guess that's a good thing because we have so many people here. Debs, hello, my favorite YouTuber. Love from Bournemouth, UK. Well, thank you, Debs, for joining. That's awesome. I'm your favorite YouTuber. I'm a little lost for words. So Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Linda Okie Dokie, what's RootsTech? RootsTech is the largest genealogy conference in the world, held in Salt Lake City every year, usually around February or March. It's a couple days long, and basically there's like 20 to 30,000 people who attend in person. They also have a whole bunch of online stuff, which has hundreds of thousands of people utilizing. And then it's kind of also, it's the place where the companies are all announcing their big, updates and things like that. So yeah, it's the place to be. The place to be for genealogists, I guess. Rash 7, Rome 7, hello from New Zealand. Yeah, I think. Is that, for some reason, I was thinking not New Zealand at first, but New Zealand, I think. Thank you for joining, Rash. Good to see you. Fausto Alba, I'm also Nunez from Portugal. I'm attending RootsTech. Well, I guess from Portugal, Nunez. Well, hello. Good to hear that you'll be attending. Coming in from Portugal. Very cool. Very cool. Bingo. Oh wow. So you are an anesthesiologist. I wonder how many people get that. That's funny. Hello from Massachusetts. Going to attend RootsTech virtually. Very cool. Well, good to hear, Richard. Good to hear. My dad's in the chat. Hi, Jared from Pete and Jack. Yeah, for those who don't know, my dad is Rick Ross. Okay, so let's jump into RootsTech stuff. So I started that poll for those who are on YouTube. I'm going to end it now. And it's basically just asking, will you be participating in RootsTech? And yes, attending online, 47%. No, 41%. And then yes, attending in person, 11%. And that's out of 53 votes. So I guess that's what? 6 people that'll be attending in person, and then the vast majority either attending online or just not attending at all. So yeah, but that's cool to hear that we do have people going in person. It's definitely a big trip for some people. Yeah, I will be there. I will be speaking. I know I've heard from a few people saying that they didn't see me in the lists of stuff, but I'll be there. I've been in a lot of promotions. In fact, some of the main promotional material that RootsTech made included my talk as the top talk. And then for a while on their site, they had it with the list of talks where mine was at the top. I don't know if it's still that way. Maybe others can tell me, because I got a bunch of people telling me do you know yours is at the top? Yours is at the top. I was like, what? Looked, it was oh, that's awesome. What day are you going to be in? I'll be there the whole time, but I'll be talking on Friday. Sebastian Rocco, sorry. I love the Find New Relatives at RootsTech tool, adding the 75 side branches to my tree. Yeah, that's a cool tool for anyone who's attending RootsTech. You can do the relative finder and see what relatives are also attending RootsTech. Genie ran a similar thing in the past. WikiTree also ran a similar thing in the past. I don't know if both of them are going to do that again this year. They might have, and I just didn't see the announcements. But that's the thing, that's the benefit of having collaborative family trees, is you can see all these crazy big distant relationships that you would have never found through researching on your own. So yeah. Eve, hi from Ontario, Canada. I'll be attending virtually for my 3rd year. I will have to get a passport and go in person. Yeah, it's so worthwhile to go in person. Definitely worthwhile. My ancestors with siblings in Preston, Lancashire, lots of Mormon 4th and 5th cousins in Utah. Yeah, so you'll be able to visit lots of cousins, and I'm sure a lot of them attend, because a lot of the Mormons attend RootsTech. My heritage DNA results came in a few days ago. I have 39,098 DNA matches as of right now. Most of my DNA matches live in Finland. I don't know why I can't talk right now, but that's cool to hear. I guess that makes sense with you. Where are you located, Sebagai? You say it all the time. I know it's in Scandinavia. Norway, that's right. Okay, so Norway and Finland. Interesting. There'll be lots of online coupons from websites, discounts on DNA tests. Oh, yeah. And then for those who are attending in person, there's usually a lot of like exclusive discounts for RootsTech attendees and stuff like that. What time on Friday? 3 p.m. Mountain Time, I believe. Eve, lots of branches are wrong higher up for me. Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen, especially in the collaborative trees. The further you get back, the thinner the record availability gets, the harder it is. And with the collaborative sites, one of the downsides is that you do have a lot of people adding stuff in that might be wrong. And then you get, a lot of issues. Do the people know your ancestry is from Portugal and Spain? Yes, the people do. The people do. Dre, I need to make sure my family search tree is updated so I can see if I've got any relatives this year. Last year when I went to do the relative thing, I actually found that someone had added some completely incorrect stuff in my tree, because there was some guy that was like listed as a second cousin going, and I was like, this guy's not a second cousin. And then I found out what it was someone had added some incorrect stuff from some bad tree someone had built years ago on Ancestry, and I had to go through and delete it. And it was one of my tastes of family search not having as robust trying to think of the term, but not as robust of a system to deal with incorrect information and people just adding, it was very difficult to get it reverted to what was correct. Then much harder than it should have been, in my opinion. But maybe I'm just spoiled with Genie and WikiTree otherwise. Rob, is the map in the back southern Spain? I can't remember. I'm trying to remember. For some reason, I don't think so. I actually can't even remember. I want to say this was somewhere in South America, but I can't remember. Let's see. I could be wrong. Part of me was thinking Recife, but then I don't know if that's the Recife map. Because what I was doing, like leaning back here, I was looking for the Antonio Vaz Island or whatever, which I'm not seeing unless it's like being blocked. Then it's like over by my shoulder over here. But maybe I have that wrong. Let me see. Streaming backgrounds. Yes. Cadiz. My bad. Yeah, when I was choosing backgrounds today, it doesn't show me the names that I have linked to each one. And when I did it, it looks a lot like the map of Recife, which I do have in here. Let me see if I can find it. But it's like the same sort of like old school map with like the ships and all of that. Do I have it in here? Is it this one? No, that's not. That's Odessa. That's Odessa. That's Cadiz. That's not. I think that's Janesville. So, maybe I don't have it in here. Yeah. I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, what map am I thinking of? I could just oh, is this the map I was thinking of? I don't know. Recife. Did I not? Apparently, I never did a map of Recife for my background. Interesting. Thought I had. That's probably where I screwed up. All right, let's go back to Cadiz. All right. Fausto. So my DNA at one point when Ancestry was doing Sephardic came up 12% Ashkenazi. How do you spell Austin Nazi? How do you spell Eastern Ashkenazi? Well, the last way you did it was how you spell it. Ashkenazi. So, yeah, that's the other ways are a little no. Like, I don't know if you're trying to say something else or if that's kind of out of innocence, but I'm going to presume out of innocence. Assume good faith. Assume good faith. Bear Var, hey, happy Fridays. Sorry if you've already covered this. Just joined. Any thoughts on the big FTDNA Mito tree rollout? I'm so confused. Yeah, so the Mito Million or the Million Mito Project, whatever it's called, they rolled out a bunch of updates from that. And basically what they've done is they've implemented a lot of the big Y style tools into the mitochondrial DNA tree, as well as they've identified more subclades of mitochondrial haplogroups. So one of the difficulties with mitochondrial haplogroups is that mitochondrial DNA mutates at a slower rate. And because it mutates at a slower rate, that means that whenever you find matches, there's a wider range of where you might be related, because if it mutates so slowly, then everyone that descends from one mutation, well, that mutation could have happened hundreds or thousands of years back versus what we see with Y chromosome mutations where it happens a lot quicker. So they were able to identify a bunch. I went in and looked at my results for my branch. While they had identified other subclades of H1AI1, I was not included in any of that. I was still just a generic H1AI1. I looked through a lot of this stuff. It wasn't super necessarily helpful as far as I could see based on what I have, but it also doesn't mean that it might not be useful for others. But I still, I only have a very general overview of it. So, I'm hoping to learn a bit more about it at the conference, because I'm sure it's going to be an announcement. And, Roberta Estes is going to be there, who's been a big part of that project. So, I might talk to her about it. Yeah. But yeah, definitely learning more about it myself. Illyrian, I don't know if you've ever been told this, but if you can prove that your family is part of those expelled in Spain, you could apply for Spanish nationality. Yes. So not only have I been told about this, I have made a lot of content about this when they actually were first rolling a lot of these laws out in the early 2010s. I actually was writing about them in my blog. At that point, I was writing a blog called sephardicgenealogy.blogspot.com. It's still there. I can't remember the last time I wrote an article for that. I want to say, it was definitely after my YouTube channel, because there was a point where I was going to try to make a series on YouTube that would correlate to a series on my blog, try to kind of make it so I had both going. But then I just kind of was like, I'm not as big of a fan of writing blogs as much. But yeah, you can do that. Spanish nationality, Portuguese nationality. The thing is that the laws are much more difficult now. The Spanish nationality one technically was a limited window. I think they extended it, but I think it's like a little bit harder. With the Portuguese one, there's a lot of stuff going on. I can't remember what the last thing was said about it, but there are still a lot of people in the process of getting it. Eve, I've currently have 1,803 relatives of RootsTech. Certain half are wrong, but 233 are descended from the sister of my fourth great grandmother. Wow. So I guess the fourth great grandfather, I guess he was the one who, had other relative or other descendants go to Utah. Say, Patrick, I don't think FTDNA is done analyzing the providing MTD DNA haplogroups update. These should be, and in my comment, more updates probably still coming. Yeah, it's an ongoing project. It's definitely not like this is the end. But yeah, hopefully they will keep going and adding more. Yeah. Sorry, who's doing more than one thing in Syria? You know how that goes. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, because I was a little like, I've seen you post a lot before. So I was like out of the ordinary, like, wow, okay, what's going on here? So let's see. Let's pull this up. I figured we can look at some stuff about this year. I figured I might also show some stuff from last year. I can't remember if I'd shown it anywhere. But yeah, so RootsTech going to be March 6th to 8th. One of the things that I just recently found out about that I'm so excited about was this. that Victor Wooten is coming to talk. I am a huge music nerd. And Victor Wooten is a major like force when it comes to bass playing. He was in that band Bella Fleck and the Flecktones, which cool band, especially, rocking with a banjo and stuff. But that was like, oh man, I can't believe Victor Wooten's going to be there. That's so cool. So like, I hope they have something where it's set up where you can jam with Victor Wooten, because that'd be so awesome. But I do like the fact that I can now say that I spoke at the same event that Victor Wooten spoke at once. So that's kind of cool. Although I guess with every RootsTech I've been at, a lot of the big technically I can say I've spoken at the same event that MLK the Third spoke at, and Henry Cho, and the guy they made that movie Lion about, Saru something. I can't remember his full name, but yeah, they've had a lot of good keynote speakers. These are the keynote speakers that they have. Steve Rockwood is president and CEO of Family Search. So, it's kind of his show the whole time. Although I don't know who they have as the host necessarily. But yeah, they have a whole bunch of different people, and it is a Mormon event, so they have a ton of Mormon stuff going on. There's like a family day where like it's free for a bunch of kids to go, and it's a really packed day. But it's a lot. It can be a lot of fun. Let's see, do I have this pulled up already? Pull it up. So I'm gonna pull up a video of RootsTech last year. I can't remember if I showed this. I feel like if I did, I showed it on that. I did a stream like the day after I got back, or recently after I got back. So some of you may have seen it. Some of you might not have. Doesn't really matter. There we go. Okay, cool. So this is a film. This is me filming walking from my hotel to the conference. So the hotel I was staying at last year was the Marriott at City Creek. There's a ton of hotels around. So for anyone who's like kind of on the fence right now of thinking maybe they'll go, because it starts I think next Thursday, so technically it's next week. I leave in a couple of days, so for me it's like yeah. But basically what I'm getting at is, for the hotels, there's a ton of them around the conference center, the Salt Palace. If you can't get any of those, or those are a little too expensive for you, there are a ton of options within a couple of blocks from it. But I should say, when it comes to blocks in Salt Lake City, they are so much bigger than other city blocks that I'm used to in a lot of other cities. And like, I remember the first RootsTech I ever went to, I stayed at the Sheraton, which was like 3 blocks south of the Salt Palace. And so I thought, 3 blocks, oh sweet, that's not that much, maybe 5-10 minute walk. It was literally a 15 to 20 minute walk. And on top of that, it was really freaking cold. I mean, it's Utah in February, March, right getting into spring. So every RootsTech I've been at, it's always been very similar weather, 30s, 40s. There's been a few where I think it's been kind of 50s and 60s during the day for the most part, but always used to seeing snow while at RootsTech. But they're used to it there. But anyway, so this is walking from my hotel into the Salt Palace. So you can see the Salt Palace right across the street. It's a massive convention center. Sure, if anyone's ever been at a convention in Salt Lake City, you've probably been here. So this is I think this is technically the front. There's a lot of entrances, but I think this is technically the front. There's also a hotel connected to the conference center. That's right. Any measurement except kilometers. So this is kind of like the entrance hall sort of way. So over to the right, interestingly enough, we're going to back it up a little bit. I am going to be talking where I'm scheduled at the moment. I don't know if they're changing me or not because they're constantly moving things around based on what people are doing in terms of like saying where they're going in the app. But the room I'm supposed to be talking in is room 250, which is right there. So don't know if I'll be there. I think it's one of those rooms too that's like a separated room. So that's why you have 250A, 250B, and then 250. So I also don't know. Like I don't know how big of a room they're going to. The small medium rooms from what I remember, unless it does open up, but basically like a 40-person, 50-person room. So we'll see. I was kind of curious with them putting my talk in a lot of the promos, and my talk is the future of genealogy, that I wonder if I'm going to get a lot of people who are really like wanting to go. And yeah. All right, let's keep watching. But yeah, I kind of was didn't even think about that. It's right there. Usually there's about 20 to 30,000 people that attend RootsTech. Last year was the first big year again after COVID. The first year that they did in person after COVID was 2023, I think. And that one it felt kind of empty. Like they had basically just gotten started going and, people still weren't fully comfortable. But then last year is like, yeah. So this is actually a pretty slow time during the day. I'm going to, kind of pause it here. So if I kept walking straight through those doors, that's where the exhibit hall is. So you can kind of see into the exhibit hall, expo hall, whatever. And that's not where I'm going to go for this. Actually, where I'm walking is where they have the main keynote talks. So this was actually me walking to go see Henry Cho. So, but you can see the expo hall off to the right. And so you can kind of start to see what I'm talking about in terms of the Comic-Con of genealogy. So like for anyone who's been to a genealogy conference before, you've probably never seen booths like this massive. Maybe every once in a while you get a company that'll, put some money into something, but like this booth that we see here, that's like one of like maybe a dozen that size. And then there's even more that are bigger. So it's huge. So that's, you can see that's part of Ancestry's booth. You can see just barely. And over here to the left, these sugar bears or whatever, it's like kettle corn and roasted peanuts and stuff. Anyone who's been to RootsTech will tell you this is the smell of RootsTech. Like my dad gets all of these like specialty sort of hand soaps and stuff that smell really good. And one of the ones he got was like lemon glazed cake or something like that. But it smells exactly like RootsTech. So now every time I wash my hands, especially leading up to RootsTech, I'm like, oh yeah, RootsTech. Like it's so fun. But so the expo hall ends right about where I am right here. Like I think this door is the last one. And then what is ahead of us, that's where like the main rooms are for the keynotes and whatnot. So yeah, you can see main stage. Now here's the thing is they have the big room, the main stage, but then they have to open up a secondary room because it's so big. Hello. I was actually meaning to click on this for Sebastian. Any snacks included, coffee, bring your own nibbles. You can bring your own food. There's no like issues about that. A lot of people bring their own food. So this is the main room. I'm going to pause this right here. So yeah, computer's freaking out at me. So they sell a lot of stuff around there. So like the sugar babies and stuff, they sell that. Just like any sort of conference, the food's a little on the higher end of prices, and the quality's not quite as great. They have a whole area in the expo hall too. I don't know if they'll do it again this year. They did this last year, and I don't think they did it the year before, but they had like a food truck area set up. So they had actual like food trucks come in and like were set up. There was like a barbecue place, and I remember there was a churro place, and a bunch of different stuff. I think there was like a poke place too. And then in the conference center, they have like a, generic sort of snack stand with like, pizza and hot dogs and pretzels and then, stuff like that. But yeah, it smells like RootsTech, basically. Another comparison is CES in Vegas every January. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. I'm not the most knowledgeable when it comes to like comics or anime or any of that stuff. So I'm not even sure what that is, but yeah, it's a big conference, obviously. Can you please badger FTD&A at the conference to upgrade their servers? Feels like it runs on Windows 95. Oh yeah. Trust me. I think it is one of the things that people hate the most about FTD&A. You're constantly looking at that damn loading wheel. It's so annoying. Lunches a little different compared to other conferences. There are lunches, I think, that you can, they're luncheon, like you pay for, and then there's like a talk while it's going, I think. But you have to sign up for those ahead of time, so it's probably too late at this point, but I don't know for sure. But there's a lot of places around there, and most everyone kind of does like lunches together. So like every single day of the conference, I have like a lunch and a dinner scheduled. I only have a few that are open. All the dinners are scheduled. A lot of the lunches are scheduled, but it's basically just like us going, like a lot of popular places around there. Like there's a couple of burger places everyone goes to. There's this Mexican restaurant called the Blue Iguana, which is like part of a kind of not a chain of Mexican restaurants, but I guess this theme of sort of Mexican restaurants in Salt Lake City, because they're known for their moles. So they have a lot of mole, and all the restaurants are like blue iguana, red iguana, purple iguana. I don't know, but so there's a lot of food like that. But yeah, it's definitely, the food stuff feels much more like a bigger conference, whereas with smaller conferences, I feel like they do a lot of times have not necessarily better accommodations on the food, but yeah, not quite the same. Consumer Electronics Show. Interesting. Yeah, very cool. All right, so let's back this up. And so just kind of so everyone can really get that feel. So getting into the main room. Now where I'm walking up to the area where they have the media people sit. So, you really get a feel of how massive it is. You can just see it's packed. One of the benefits of getting a media pass, because you'll see where I sit down, it's like not empty, but there's a good amount of seats, but they keep that open because for the people that have the media passes, we're the ones that are doing things like this. And so that's why they want us to do that, so we can make content to then, talk about RootsTech and all of that. So I have a media pass again this year. That was not the media section. That was the handicap section, I think, or like the reserved handicap section or whatever. Or maybe it was there's a couple of different sections. So you can see these guys standing up here at the front, and there are some of the volunteers. There's tons of volunteers everywhere. They usually wear a shirt that'll say something like "help me" or something like that, basically, or ask me for assistance, or and then so this is the media section right here. You can tell by people with the cameras. And one of the things we were all complaining about this year is you put the media section right in front of a big ass boom. Like, we had this boom in front of us, and it was like, you should have put us in a spot. We're the ones that are getting all this video and stuff. So, but you can see how empty this section is. But that's kind of how it can vary. You know, I don't know if Henry Cho was necessarily like the most attended. But yeah, that was definitely one of my things with it was like, we need to get shots of stuff, and now we have this big old boom in our way. Like, you like, look, it's like the center shot. No matter what you do. I thought that was funny. So, let me see. I'm gonna pull up another video. Change back to this. So let's see. Where'd it go? What is it? What is it doing? All right. So I can't tell. Okay. Yeah, you can't really see a lot in this, but we'll watch it anyway. So this is at the IAJGS booth at RootsTech last year. I was getting my cousin Steve Jaron. Some of you might recognize him. He's been in a few videos here and there, but he's a cousin of mine in multiple ways, very distantly through our Dutch Jewish ancestry. And so I was like having him talk about stuff, but I just thought I'd show this because you can get a seat. You can see, a bit more of the expo hall. So this is just one small part. So you can see, the family search area and family tree DNA. And one of the nice things is that for people that are really trying to go because they're especially trying to get a lot of help, that you can basically, go to a lot of different booths and have people who will help you directly. A lot of these companies will have a computer set up, or many computers set up. So yeah, you can't hear what he's saying, but yeah, I don't know if I really pan around that much. I think I just focus on him. Yeah, I just focus on him. So let's pull up a different one. See if we get anything. No, not that. Let's do this. Me leaving the hall. I don't know. We'll see how this is. One of the downsides of being at the media spot is when it's over. If you stay till the end, it's really difficult to get out. Especially because, the typical genealogy community are probably 60 plus. And a lot of them have mobility issues, and not that there's anything wrong with that. But when you are at the front of the room and then everybody in this massive hall gets up and starts leaving, it can take a while. But there's a lot of, you'll see there's a lot of people that know they just wait it out. They're just like, whatever. And even honestly, even without, even if, people that don't have mobility issues, when you get that many people walking out of room, it just, yeah. But you can kind of get a feel of how big it is. Do I go? Oh, I ended it early. Yeah, I didn't get a lot of video last year. That's one of the things I'm thinking I might do this year. I don't know. I don't think I'll do the live from the expo. Maybe I will. I don't know. You all let me know. What do you think? But what I was thinking is I might actually go around and just get more just video, B-roll and stuff. And I don't know if I'll make a video about RootsTech. Maybe I will. I don't think it's really that big of an interest of the general audience. People are interested in it, but just very minimally, But I don't know. Maybe I need to do like a video like, what's her name? The girl that does all those, like, going to various conferences and then she just talks about it, like goes through like what she liked, what she didn't like. And I know I've watched a lot of her videos on various conferences I've wanted to go to or thought about going to. That media section looked like the restricted view seats at the Taylor Swift shows. Oh, wow, that's funny. Yeah, that's one thing that happens with a lot of those sometimes is it's like they like, all right, well, put them all here, but then it like is a worse spot than if, maybe you just tried to get wherever you could. Carmen McGow would have loved to have seen Henry in person. I only got to see him online. He was hilarious. Yeah, he was really funny. I was worried going into it. I was like, please don't turn this into one of those like stupid interviews of just, sitting and talking to him. And it's like, he doesn't get to play up his thing. Instead, they were like, they introduced him and he just did a straight stand-up set. I thought it was hilarious. I thought he was great at gearing it towards that whole idea of the family and family history and like talking about that. And like, I'm trying to remember, I feel like one of his jokes was he was basically talking about how, like, I think like he called himself like a rice cracker at one point because he was like, I'm Asian, but I'm like Southern. And like, yeah, it was a really, really funny stand up. I don't know if they still have it online, but you might be able to see it. I have a lot of clips of it, obviously. Yeah. Oh no, please do the live walkabout. We really enjoyed it. Yeah, I might, but no guarantees. I'll really have to consider, because the other problem is just time and all of that. So, but I might, we'll see. All right. Well, I think with that, we've been going for just a little bit under an hour. So we'll call it there. I guess if anyone does have any last minute questions, I'll kind of keep an eye out. Let's see. When I started working on genealogy in my 20s, everyone had to drop me a generation as they thought I was of retired age and in my parents' generation. Yeah. I mean, even now, I get people saying like, oh, you're so young for genealogy, and I'm 37. But when I really first like got really into it, I was in my 20s. And that was before I was really going to a lot of conferences and stuff. But even then, just people were like, oh, wow, so interested, so young, so interesting. David, Kristen Chenoweth last year was amazing. I love hearing her sing, but then her stories about her birth mother were fantastic. Yeah, that was really cool. I definitely enjoyed Henry Cho a bit more, but that's also because I'm a big comedy guy. So that might be it. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the keynotes they do, they're really, really good. Thank you very much, everybody. I think I'll call it there. You all have a wonderful weekend. I guess I'll be seeing a lot of you in a week from today. And hopefully maybe I'll see some people going to RootsTech that weren't originally thinking about it before this stream. And this got you going. I don't know. But either way, you all have a great time. I'll have a great time. You all have a great time if you go, but have a great weekend.